Everybody in the universe is that one same superconscious state playing the game of life. And in this game of life, we all search for ourself. We search for our inner self, the thing that created the light in the first place. Sydney Banks. Hey, social media, it's Stephen Middleton coming to you from the Possibility Action Network. Our core values include I am, I can, and I will. I am Possibility Man. Today, I want to share on the theme, you are safe and supported as you are. But first, I want to offer this reminder. If you're watching this video on Facebook, please go over to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my channel. You'll get notices when I post new information on YouTube. If you are coming to YouTube from directly, from social media, subscribe and you'll get a notice when I post another video. Now back to our share. On this topic, you are safe and supported as you are. Now, let me share a brief story with you. When I was a boy, I got a job working at the Naval Weapons Station in Goose Creek, South Carolina. It was about 50 years ago, maybe a little over 50 years ago. And I remember distinctly working with some of the other men at my job, and we were assigned to cleaning up the Presbyterian church that was on base. And for whatever reason, I asked these men, what is life? And as I look back, I think me as a 14-year-old guy was trying to understand the meaning of life. Fast forward 50 years later, I'm beginning to get some clues about life, and that's what I want to share with you today. So my theme is, you are safe and supported as you are. Now let me share a couple of illustrations of this idea. One involves a man who lived in Maysville, South Carolina back in the 50s and the 60s as he matured. Old Man Hickman is what some of the children called him at the time. And for whatever reason, Old Man Hickman didn't want the kinds of jobs, the penny jobs that he could get in Lee County. So as Old Man Hickman pondered his situation, he had an insight. And his insight was, there's a farmer's market located in the Columbia area, and that he could go to the farmer's market, he could buy up some fruits and vegetables, and he can bring those produce back to his hometown and sell his produce in order for him to make a living. Old Man Hickman, however, had another challenge. He did not have a car. He did not have a truck. So he could not drive to Columbia to get his produce. But he did have a bicycle. And here's where Old Man Hickman was brilliant. He said, if I could mount a basket on the front of my bike and mount another basket on the back of my bicycle, I could pedal my way to Columbia, collect my produce, bring it back to Maysville, and sell locally. The round trip was approximately 150 miles to get to Columbia and back to sell this produce. Old Man Hickman did this for many years, and then some of his critics would say to people who knew him, why doesn't Old Man Hickman get a regular job? And the people who knew him and loved him had a ready response. They said, look, Old Man Hickman always has money in his pocket, and he did. He just wanted to do it his way, and life opened up a door for him to do life the way he wanted to do life in order to make a living. And then one day, Old Man Hickman had an accident. He broke his left leg. And Old Man Hickman, of course, went to the doctor, and the doctor put a cast on it and tell him not to put any weight on it. But Old Man Hickman had to make a living. Hickman decided that he would do what he always did. He would get on his bike and he would push the pedal down with one foot. And he would pull the pedal back with the other foot, with the same foot. He would push down and pull and push and pull. And it would take him a little longer, but he would make his way to Columbia, collect his produce, come back to his hometown, and sell his produce on the local market. One of his customers is now in her mid-60s, and she told me that she also bought peanuts from Old Man Hickman. And one of her fondest stories is that Old Man Hickman gave good value for the bags of peanuts that he sold. He gave good value to his customers because he wanted his customers to come back. Instead of just giving them like a half bag of peanuts for their 10 cents, she said that they got a full bag of peanuts for the 10 cents or whatever that they paid Old Man Hickman for that snack. And then some of the children decided that since Old Man Hickman had only one good leg, that they would challenge him in a race. But Old Man Hickman would beat them every time. The reporter told me they were never able to beat Old Man Hickman while he was pedaling with one leg. And I became curious about Old Man Hickman. I said, what was his body shape? Did he have a big stomach? And the person reported, no, he had a flat stomach. He was a medium-sized man. He was not a very large man, because Old Man Hickman, pedaling 150 miles, a few times a week, was no doubt in terrific shape. I said, well, how long did Old Man Hickman live? And they said, well, he lived into his 80s. I said, what happened to him? And the story was they didn't know what happened to him. But the divine decided that Old Man Hickman had a great heart. He was in great physical condition. There would be no disease that took him out of here. He had an accident on the highway, and that's how Old Man Hickman made his transition. Here is what I learned from Old Man Hickman. He discovered that he was safe and supported as he was. Here is another story that I just learned today from someone who is a truck driver in South Carolina. He works for a good company, Santee Cooper. Oh my, he has a job that offers great benefits as he transports gravel and other commodities in the southern part of South Carolina. And then he told me about a friend of his, a woman who a few years ago asked him to let her know when Santee Cooper is hiring because she would love to get, a job with Santee Cooper. And he said that he lost contact with her. He didn't realize that she got some other job and she was doing pretty well until COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, of course, not only was she out of a job, she was out of the income to support her family. And she began to struggle financially, taking on just pieces of job here and there to make ends meet. She ultimately lost her permanent residence, and then he said that she got into a place where she could pay as she go, like pay weekly for her upkeep. She was in the river of life. And not only that, she lost her son. And she called my friend and told my friend that her back was up against the wall. It was as if she just was at the end of her wits. And then he had just a moment to say to her, let me make some calls. A friend of his works in the Human Resources Office for Santee Cooper. And then he told his friend that story, and the friend said, yes, I will talk with her. And he talked with her and on the spot offered her a job. And here is this woman who was at her wit's end, had had tragedies in her life, didn't know whether she would become homeless or not. In fact, she said that she was only 2 weeks from being homeless, was blessed with a job that offered a good income and that offers benefits, a job that she can work if she wants to for the rest of her life. So what do these stories then tell me about life? Life is analogous to being in a river. That was the answer I wanted over 50 years ago, but those men couldn't share with me. But I'm discovering that life is analogous to being with a river, and a river flows. A river has twists and turns. A river may have rapids sometimes. A person in a boat may fall off if they aren't careful. It is the river of life. And here is what else I have discovered. That each one of us is equipped with the equivalent of a GPS device. We do not choose our course in the river. We are taken down the river. The speed in which we are taken, the turns in which we have in the river are all programmed in our GPS device. And here is the lesson that each being has to learn and to be able to say, I am safe and supported in this. Now, here's what I also learned from being in the river. Everyone on the planet experiences the river of life. If they tell you that they don't, that they're always riding high, they lie. The Queen of England has had many rivers. I think she's in her mid to late 90s now. She has been in many rivers. And if you had the opportunity to talk with her, and if she were honest with you, she would tell you about some of them. Our current president, Joseph Biden, who is in his late 70s, has been in many rivers. The president that I admire the most, President Barack Obama, has been in many rivers. And if you had the privilege of talking with him, he would tell you. I remember I worked for the president of a university. I'm not going to name him because he's not a public figure. He was a former general in the Air Force, and he told me that he had been at the top of the mountains many times in his career. But he had been knocked off the mountain as well. He had been in many rivers. We all face our rivers. You may ask me, well, Stephen Middleton, what about you? Well, do you know what it's like to live with muscular dystrophy? Do you know what it's like for a muscular dystrophy patient to put on a shirt? Do you know what it's like for a muscular dystrophy patient to walk from his bedroom to a vehicle and try to get into it? I'll tell you what, I'm laughing because if I didn't laugh, if I thought about it seriously, maybe I would cry. I have faced many rivers. I faced many rivers. In fact, in this river called life, I decided I'm going to do some work around one of my vehicles. And I said, I'm going to put elbow pads on my arms. I'm going to put knee pads on my knees. And when I fall, I'll just tumble and roll over so that if I fall, I won't scratch up my elbows or damage my knees. I may even put on a bicycle cap to protect my head. I know rivers. And here, once again, is the message. And I want you to say it with me. I am safe in the river as I am. I am safe in the river such as this. Whatever your river is. You know what your river is. Now, I can try to psych you out with some spiritual language or some spiritual talk, but I'm not going to do that. I just invite you to consider this. You are in the river, and you're safe in the river. Say it with me. I am safe and supported in this, whatever this is for you. I want you to touch your chest when you say it. I am safe and supported in this, whatever this is for you in this moment. When I was growing up, some of the women in my church would sing a song that I want to share with you now. And the song, I didn't think about it at the time. I wish we had some recordings of those women singing, because what they were saying was that they had some understanding about life. And they would sing the song, I got a feeling that everything's gonna be all right. Oh, I got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Oh, I got a feeling that everything's gonna be all right. All right, all right, all right. And then they would get to a point in the song where they would stop using words and then begin to hum the song. All right, all right, all right. And that's why the possibility action network exists. You know, we want to spread the word that we have a feeling that everything is going to be all right. We want to spread the word that we are committed to the core values that I am, that I can, and I will. We want to spread the word that if there's someone out there who wants a friend, that we can be a friend to them. If someone is out there who wants support, we can put you into with the right connections for you to get the support that you need. We are up to something in the Possibility Action Network. And remember, I am Possibility Man. Until next time, good day